Coming up in just a bit, we're going to look at how to use adjustment layers for compositing, but first let's just talk about what an adjustment layer is and how it works. Now you can create an adjustment layer in the same way you created a light. You can go to the layer menu and select new adjustment layer, or you could right click in some blank area of the timeline panel and select new adjustment layer. Now, if you're familiar with Photoshop, adjustment layers here work the same way. Basically, anything applied to the adjustment layer affects everything beneath the layer. In other words, all layers beneath it. So let's say, for example, I added the tint effect. I'll do this quick search on that here and apply that to my adjustment layer. You'll notice that everything that I'm doing to this tint effect affects everything beneath the tint. Let me just switch that up just a little bit here. So everything beneath the adjustment layer is tinted. Now if I drag this layer beneath the green screen footage, then the green screen footage wouldn't be tinted, but all the layers below them would be. Drag it below the subway, then only the background would be tinted red. So again, adjustment layers adjust everything beneath them. Let's try this with a different effect just so we get the feel of what these can do here. I'll apply, for example, let's say fast blur. I blur this. Everything beneath it is blurred. You'll probably get the hang of it by now. I'm just going to delete fast blur. I want to show you one other trick that doesn't really have much to do with compositing, but it's kind of a cool trick nonetheless. There's an effect called transform. I'm going to apply the transform effect to the adjustment layer. And at first blush, this transform effect seems really pointless because most of these values that you're seeing in the transform effect you get with a regular layer. So like position, anchor point, scale, rotation, opacity. All these things are just regular layer transforms. However, if you apply them to an adjustment layer, sometimes you can get out of pre-composing. So let's say, for example, you wanted to do a fade out. You could just create an adjustment layer and fade out the opacity of the adjustment layer and fade everything out without having to pre-compose. Likewise, if you wanted to rotate everything or scale everything, you can do that with an adjustment layer. Now, adjustment layers, as you can imagine, because you apply stuff to the adjustment layer affects everything beneath it, become very helpful when compositing. As we mentioned in the last movie, the more we can get every element in our composition to share the same attributes, the more it will look like they belong together. So in the next movie, we'll continue this discussion looking at how we could use adjustment layers specifically for compositing.